Another state of emergency declared in Jamaica, and in sport, Guadeloupe wins the Rugby South Zone title. I'm Ricardo Roberts and this is Caribbean in 10 for Tuesday, April 30th, 2019. I'll be back with the details after the break. The Jamaican government has declared a new state of emergency in 3 western parishes, St. James, Westmoreland and Hanover. Prime Minister Andrew Holness made the announcement this morning during a media briefing at Jamaica House. He says the decision was made based on a request from the security forces. It was only in January that the government lifted a year-long state of emergency in St. James. This one will be in effect for the next 14 days, and if necessary, it will be extended for up to 3 months by a 2/3 majority of both houses of Parliament.
After careful consideration and review of the crime statistics, in particular violent crimes which have been committed in some western parishes, the security forces have advised that the situation now currently exists would warrant the government advising the Governor General to proclaim a state of public emergency. His Excellency the Most Honorable Sir Patrick Linton Allen has declared that a state of public emergency exists in the community of the entire area comprising the parishes of St. James, Hanover, and Westmoreland.
In other news now, Liat's shareholder governments began a meeting in Antigua this morning with Dominica's Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit underscoring the importance of the airline and urging governments not to give up on the financially strapped carrier. Now, Liat's main shareholder governments, Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, Dominica, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, have been urging other Caribbean countries to get on board to save the airline from failing. Now, speaking before heading into today's talks, Prime Minister Skerrit insisted that despite the operational and other problems Liat faces, governments must remain committed to keeping it in the air.
Yes, always will have issues about Liat's operations and its tardiness and this and that. But these things have to be set aside. This meeting in Antigua today is a very crucial meeting for air travel, intra-regional air travel. And I believe that countries within the Caribbean, we need to recognize the importance of Liat. And yes, we'll criticize. Yes, we have issues with Liat. But let us not set aside the greater good of this company and its services to our region.
And the shareholders meeting will be followed later in the day by a meeting of all the airline stakeholders, including the representatives of the pilots and trade unions. Meantime, Liat's CEO, Julie Reefer-Jones, has sought to give the assurance that despite Liat's financial problems, it is committed to continue flying travelers throughout the network of its 15 destinations. She said discussions continue to keep it flying are ongoing.
There are ongoing discussions with governments about the Liat network and about the need for the territories served by Liat to contribute through a minimum revenue guarantee model. The pace of these discussions has been slower than we anticipated, but the company remains optimistic that the discussions will be concluded shortly.
In other news, the Guyana government has defended the decision of the National Assembly to pass a resolution paying tribute to former legislator Abdul Kadir, who died in the United States prison after he was convicted on terrorism-related charges there. The U.S. Embassy and the main opposition, People's Progressive Party, had criticized the decision. But in a statement yesterday, the government said the National Assembly was only following a time-honored convention of observing the work of former members who are deceased. It said, quote, "The government of Guyana asserts that it had no intention of conveying the impression that the motion was designed to honor a former MP convicted of terrorism in another jurisdiction. The motion recognizes the member's service as a parliamentarian," end quote. And stay with us, your Midday Sport is next.
Soca star Kevin Little recently teamed up with Trinidadian music producer Static for a sweet soca track called Close to You. The song was released for Trinidad's 2019 Carnival, and we have the visuals for you tonight. That's right, the video for Close to You makes its television premiere right here, right now.
Can't get enough of you, close to you.
Poor decisions accounted for Guyana's rugby team missing out on winning the Rugby North America South Zone 15's title. They went down to Guadeloupe 5-19 at the finals at the National Park in Guyana last weekend. Newsroom's Akeem Greem has the details.
Guyana had one try in the entire 80 minutes. There were some occasions in the second half they sprung some rousing plays that hinted a comeback was possible. It quickly faded with a well-coordinated backline by the Frenchmen. On the cusp of halftime was where the Guyanese faded and the visitors scored 2 tries and made the conversions. 0-14 to the first half. O'Neal McKenzie came off the bench and scored for Guyana in the second half, making it 5-19 with 8 minutes to go. But Lance Adonis missed the conversion. Guyana made some runs towards the try line, but tired legs took a toll. They seemed to realize the inevitable by then. Should Guyana have won, they would have played Bermuda for the overall run title in May and a chance to return to the America's Challenge Series. Now, both coach and captain reflected on where it went wrong.
It basically came down to poor decisions. We had umpteen opportunities to score, and we just let it fly.
Veteran rider Quincy Welch and fellow Barbadian rookie Demario Bino rode braces to christen the opening of the new Century Mile racetrack on Sunday. The 38-year-old Welch, a multiple-time champion at the recently closed Northlands Park, captured race 3 over 5 furlongs with 11-2 choice Casse de Plata before returning to take race 5 over the same distance with 2-1 bet Heartless Sophia. Bino won race 6 also 5 furlongs with I Tricked My Ride before capturing race 9 in another 5 furlong sprint with another favorite Little Bit Cocky. The 9 race card marked the curtain raiser for the new facility, which replaces the Northlands Park venue that closed last October. As Caribbean 10 joins us again at 6:30 for Caribbean Newsline. Good afternoon.